Hello everybody, Reggie Time here, and we are looking at part 2 of the Pot Limit Omaha 5 card video that I recorded a while back, and first episode was released on Saturday. This is the second part of that video. We're picking up exactly from where we left off the first video. We're playing on a club called PotBombers on the PPPoker network. For this video I was staked just for the video to play 60 Pot Limit Omaha, which is out of my bankroll usually, but never mind if you're being staked. And the deal is 50-50 split profits. Forget it if you lose, then that's a deal I'll take all day. Just want to give the PotBombers guys a shout out, because ever since I started working with them a couple of weeks ago, they have been absolutely amazing. The turnaround times and all the admin jobs I asked them to do are as quick as I've ever experienced. They seem like really nice guys, really good guys. They've got a good professional setup. They've got a website where if you want to sign up to the clubs, you can either sign up through me or you can sign up via their website and deal with those guys directly. Either that's completely fine by me. It's just very much which you would prefer to do. So yeah, do get in touch with either me or them. If you just put PotBombers into Google, pretty sure they'll be top of the search list, because what else is going to be top of the search list, top of the list on Google when you type in a specific name. So yeah, do try and get involved. They're a good bunch of guys. You seem incredibly reliable, incredibly solid, and yeah, I think they're as safe as anyone I've come across in this business so far. So you can put your faith in them, much the same way that I put my faith in them. So yeah, we're going to continue playing this 5-card PLO video now. I've been playing pretty much exclusively PLO for the last week. Not super high volume, to be honest. I'm a busy man. My care work is picking right back up again now, and I'm also part of like a crisis team that is on hand to quickly respond to any problems some families might be having with their children with additional needs. So I can't put the volume in that I used to put in, but I'm not bothered. I enjoy playing when I can. I'm pretty much a recreational player these days anyway, and just like to have my fingers in lots of pies in terms of points of interest in my life: poker, the affiliate work, making videos, providing care, etc., looking after my own family members. So yeah, everything's good at the moment, although my poker grind is probably one of my lowest priorities. So there we go, there's the ramble. Don't forget to hit the likes. I know these videos don't do as well because most of you guys are no limit hold'em players, so I know they don't do as well views wise, but it's an accurate reflection of what I'm doing at the moment. So if you hit the likes, maybe we get a few more views too. And if you were a little bit bored of No Limit, you haven't been playing for a while because you got bored of the grind, then do consider giving Pot Limit Omaha a whirl, because it's a fun game. If you just want to play some poker recreationally, not too bothered whether you win or lose, but want to play a fun game that gives you a shot at like winning some big pots more often and losing some more pots more often, basically just more of a fun grind, where you're not too concerned about like grinding hard, playing hard, you know, pushing a 4 or 5 big blind win rate for very little pleasure, then do consider giving them the games a whirl. They are a lot of fun, and who knows, you might just take to it and you might just love it, and you might just find yourself reinvigorating what used to be a fun hobby for you. Anyways, fuck all that, let's go. Let's get this playback speed ramped right up. Faster, faster, and faster some more. And then we'll do what we did last video. We'll try and spot the interesting situations and pause and discuss them. So we have a suited king, well, king, queen with the suit on table 2. So we're going to, right, first interesting spot. We've raised under the gun with our kings and queens with the suit. We instantly got 3-bet by a very loose and looking like aggressive player to our left in Arrow 91, and then we got a remarkably interesting cold call out of the guy who limped under the gun. So what do we do here? Do we just pile? I think we do, given the guy who's 3-bet has only started the pot with like 30 big blinds, whatever it is, 20 big blinds, 30 big blinds. I think we just pile it in here, maybe lose a side pot to the guy in middle position and win a larger pot from the guy who limp called. So I don't know what I did at the time now. I've completely forgotten most of the hands on this video because it was 3 days ago. But I think if I was playing again right now in this situation, I'd just be repotting it and rolling the dice. Yep, that's what I did. We then got called again by the guy in the under the gun position. The other guy's all in, so we forget about him. So we're playing for quite a juicy side pot here, and he's just like donk jammed on deuce 3. If he's got a deuce, then in having cold call pre-flop or pocket threes, then fuck my life. I mean, this is as good a flop as we're going to hope to see with our hand, I would imagine. And we've actually got a deuce ourselves, which I've just noticed. Didn't notice the little dangly deuce in the middle, so yeah, you just get it in now, don't you? And see what happens. So we got it in against that, which is obviously, in my opinion, never a 3-bet pre-flop versus a middle position isolation raise, and his aces, which he decided to play in a particularly confusing way pre-flop. I don't understand it. Maybe get the limp, looking for a limp raise, but when it's gone limp, ISO, re-ISO, I think you could just cold whatever it would be, 4-bet your aces and be happy about it. So this guy's took a funky line and it hasn't worked out for him as yet, but there's still 2 cards to come and he does have some backdoor equity, so let's see what happens. We just make quad deuces. Nice to run good. Another promising hand on table 2. See what happens this time. It's been Limp City so far. We should oh, Reggie, I think we definitely need to isolate there or pop it up. That's a pretty big mistake there. We got like Jack, Queen, King, Ace, double suited. Yeah, we wouldn't like to have the 8 of spades. We'd rather the 8 of spades was just anything other than a spade. But I need to be popping that up. That's way too weak. We just got some, like, in this game you don't really get dealt hands pre-flop, you get dealt draws pre-flop, and we have a super strong drawing hand there. It's going to have multiple, it's going to be a flop the nuts easily, well not easily, but you know, as easy it is to flop the nuts, and flop like really strong draws to the nuts with a pretty high frequency. Yeah, I don't like my line there. That should definitely have been a raise. Hopefully we just start betting now, given we flop 2 pair and we have backdoors. The 8 does get some straight draws there. Well, 1 straight draw there. The 10-9 has now got there. We don't have any blockers to 10-9, and it's a rainbow card, so it's really one of the worst cards we could have seen. Interesting. What would I do here now if I was playing now? Because I do feel I've improved in just a few days. I think I'll probably bet here like $5. Probably just fold to a raise and feel sad about the situation. I like to go for the check. Not sure I'm in love with that. Now we probably need to fold, given he's potted it and he showed a 10. Yeah, not happy with my line there at all. Again here, maybe we could consider 3-betting. I think I've been a little bit too passive so far playing these games, not just in this session, but all of my sessions so far. I've kind of just been like trying to see flops, then assess where I think my equity is and go from there. But again, I think this could easily be a 3-bet. We've got the Jack, Queen, King, Ace again with just 1 suit this time. think I'm probably been playing a little bit too passively, I think. Yeah, we flopped terribly and we just have to give up. See, I don't mind this too much. Like limping in early position with hands that have some nut potential but aren't particularly strong. Again, this could be a big mistake. There's almost zero pot limit Omaha 5 card strategy videos out there for me to learn from. So I'm kind of just fumbling along, trying to learn things for myself, try different things, see what works well, see what doesn't work well. I don't think this hand is really strong enough to raise. Depends if there's many people 3-betting behind. Doesn't look like there is in this game. Biggest 3-bet percentage you can see is 6. So maybe it's a situation where sometimes if we've got like a lot of like aggressive maniacs behind us, we just limp with these types of hands, try and like flop really well and then go from there. And if we have passive players behind us, maybe we should be opening them for a race. I'm not sure. I'm just like thinking out loud. I know that typically Poker Logic says we shouldn't open limp, but I know that open limping in 6+, for example, in early position is completely standard. And although this isn't 6+ that we're playing here, it's kind of a similar game in terms of how close equities run together. Like how many people can wake up with like really good hands behind you and just 3-bet you a ton. So it makes sense to me at the moment. Maybe that opinion will change in the future to like limp with these types of hands when you've got aggressive players behind and raise with them when you've got passive players behind. So I think in this situation now I would prefer to raise here, given the players behind us don't seem that aggressive, but maybe it could be good to limp in another situation. Certainly not folding it. We flop 2 pairs. We get led into for pot. I think we could probably fold here. Given that our hand doesn't improve very often, diamonds kill us, 4s, 4s don't help us, 3s don't help us, aces don't help us. There's a lot of bad cards here, not many good ones on the turn. Looks like we're going to call, and I don't like it. I think I would much prefer to see a fold here. And now we're just going to have to fold. Oh, how are we going to have to fold now? Because now we have 2 pairs, a gut shot and an up flush draw. So now we don't have to fold. Now it's just a matter of like, do we just jam, get it in probably versus a range that has us beat in terms of made hands and just rely on our equity? Because we do have like a king to the nuts, which is 2 outs possibly, and like 9 flush outs. Call or raise here. I think probably just calling and then just like folding unimproved might seem best. I think we get it if we jam here. I just think we get it in versus straights very often, and then need to hit. Whereas I think if we call, I think we could probably get paid on all of our outs, or hopefully get paid on all of our outs versus a 77-31. So I think it's one of the sorts where we just need to call, bank on getting paid off when we hit, and expect that we're not going to get many folds if we raise. Again, could be very flawed logic there. Just how I'm feeling at the minute. As it is, we river the absolute nuts. So what size would like to see myself go here? Still very deep with the... I know we can't see him now, but we're not very deep, but we've got like more than a pot size bet left, or around a pot size bet. Sorry, we can't make a pot size bet yet, so basically ignore me, I'm a fuckwit. Most we can bet is 43.20. I mean, if someone's in there with the queen high flush, probably getting paid for the maximum bet, I would imagine. But I'm kind of more thinking of like the straights that called on the turn. So what would a straight call here? What would be too much of a tempting price for 6-4? Yeah, if we make it like, I think 15 to 18 here is probably fine in terms of getting paid by lots of worse hands. I mean, if we just want to target queen high flushes then, or second nut flushes, sorry, we should just go massive. But given I thought people had straights on the turn and they might not be scared, it looks like I'm going to bet pretty big, and I don't think I want to. I think I'd probably much rather see myself go around 35 to 40% pot here, but it looks like I'm going to go more than that. And we get 2 folds, yeah. I think that was just a question of me looking at my hand strength thinking, boom, I've got the nuts, let's bet big. And I wasn't thinking enough about the types of hands that I was trying to target to call me. So yeah, I think overall betting smaller would have been better. Ace Jack Jack over on table 2. We potted it, see what happens. Flop top set on a, well, some draws out there. There's some gut shots and flush draws. I'd rather not have the Jack of Diamonds at this point, but we have it, so there we go. We're up against 2 players. I think we probably wouldn't be continuing for about $5 here. Certainly nothing smaller. I just pot it, very agricultural of me. And get the fold. Yeah, so I've not been putting, I can see now, given how like, even in just a few days, I'm refining my thought processes and my approach to the game. I was very agricultural in this, like just not really considering my opponent's range and my basically just allowing my hand strength to dictate, purely my hand strength to dictate my bet sizes, rather than combining my hand strength with the board texture and what I think my opponent's ranges look like. Because I don't think, I mean, maybe he just folds a 5 there too when we had the top set, but yeah, I haven't been putting enough thought into what I'm trying to achieve with my bets. I should be opening this or isolating the King 4 A6, which we do. Flop pretty badly, just check back I hope. Turn pretty badly, just keep checking. River pretty badly, just keep checking. Potentially interesting situation here on table 2, sorry. So we've completed from the small blind with the 6, 7, 8, 9 and the shitty little deuce with some very weak flush draws, and then pretty aggressive player 69-34, 69-24, way too aggressive really. Isolates, I think, or tries to isolate. I think if everyone comes along we can consider flicking it in here and just trying to flop a world. That just folded. Would have flopped 2 pair and an open ender. We would have had to get it in at this point on this board versus that player, but we were in the pot, so it wasn't a decision we were being asked to make. Dealt some real pieces of cheese right now, aren't we? Then we got the perfect rundown on table 1, so we're almost certainly going to be V-pipping here. who had a player limp under the gun. This is a player who actually gave me the stake, then he came at the tables just to like, play with me and fuck around. Interesting spot now, he's like limped under the gun, then someone's min raised, then a maniac's just like 4-bet. I don't think our hand's strong enough. I mean, maybe it is. Maybe this is like these perfect rundowns. Maybe they're great just to get in. Be interesting to see anyone's opinion on this who's like better at PLO than me. Could this just be a cold 4-bet get it in here? No one's like super deep. 9-10 Jack Queen King with a suit that's, you know, might have some value. I mean, let's face it, if we called 4-bet, there's not going to be a lot of post flop anyway. Yeah, I think in hindsight now, I'm going to call here by the looks of things, but I think I really quite like a cold 4-bet. I mean, even if he's got like ace, whatever, we're going to be practically a coin flip against that, and he can have worse than ace XX because of just how aggressive he is. So actually, I think I like just called 4 in it here and rolling the dice. But we elected to call instead, which again is I think a little bit too weak. And we like flop. I don't know if this is it called a wrap this? We've got like the, obviously any 10 king or queen's going to give us the nuts. We don't have a backdoor flush draw. Don't know if this is classed as a wrap or not. We just like the 3 good shots. Don't know what the technical term for it is, but we have a decent straight draw. We should definitely bet here, I think. Reggie! Fuck me. And then we're just going to call, I guess, and then we don't get there. Yeah. Too weak. Way too weak. I think, and it's something I've noticed in my sessions after this, even just 2-tabling. I played a couple of 3-tabling sessions where I've managed to get away with it, but not play particularly well. I'm too weak. I'm trying to see flops and then like just like nut pedal and like try and get the money that way. And whilst it's been working okay, I don't think it's good poker. I think I need to take my courage in my hands more and find good spots to be aggressive. And when they come, don't balk from taking them. I mean, this could have been a 3-bet pre. It should have been a bet on the flop. Sorry, it could have been a raise on the flop, a bet on the flop. Sorry. Then we just called the turn. Yeah, as it happens, we did got it in against a set and wherever this fucking idiot's got his open ender. So we'd have got it in bad shape, but I still think it might have been the best way to play the hand. So just too weak. Way too weak. But we're learning. That's it. That's, you know, we're not going to just walk into a new game, even against abysmal players, and just crush it. It's just not how it's going to be. You know, you've got to take your medicine when you're learning. You've got to look at what you're doing, analyse what you're doing, identify mistakes you might be making, try and find a better way to do some things. If it doesn't work, try and find another better way to do some things. There's an awful lot of trial and error, and there's especially an awful lot of trial and error when you're playing games where there isn't an awful lot of content out there to learn from other players. So you've got to like get out there and try and figure things out for yourself, which actually makes it a lot more fun, because if there was content out there, most of your opponents would get better as quickly as you, or even quicker than you. When you've got to figure things out for yourself, it makes it more interesting. Hopefully you have more poker sense than most of the wheels you're playing with, so you'll figure it out quicker than them, and you'll quickly develop larger edges. That's what I'm hoping anyway. Anyway, we 3-bet with the double suited aces here, and I guess we're just not going to fuck around. We bet, he calls, turns not a great card, but I think we're still against someone with this VPIP. Do we have to bet fold here? Bet folding smells, doesn't it? Wow. I think that the flop C-bet's completely fine. I mean, he shouldn't have that much 7x, but it's PLO 5 against somebody with a 77 VPIP. Oh, this is maybe check back here and think about calling some rivers, but ultimately now our hands got a lot weaker from the flop to the turn. On the flop we had like the overpair on a pretty dry board with some backdoor equity. Now we just have an overpair, which isn't that strong in these games. So I think I mean this pot's plenty big. Just check back and then make a decision on the river, I think. He instantly pots it into us. We lose to 7x. that's about it. Oh, obviously we used to pocket jacks, pocket queens as well. Pocket fives. I think we should probably just fold here. Do I think he's bluffing very often? No, because I don't think there's any draws on the flop he can be bluffing with. Can he be value betting worse? Maybe. Maybe if he's just like somebody who's in here with like a queen jack or a king queen or an ace queen or a pocket kings, maybe he overvalues his hand and pots it here. But I think on balance, I think I just like folding. Calling pot size bets on the river with one pair in PLO, even against maniacs in big pots, probably isn't a good idea. And I do find the fold. I think again, given what we talked about earlier, this should probably be a raise under the gun here. At this particular table, limp at some tables, raise at another one. Big bet here with our whatever, our backdoors and our gut shot, I guess. Pick up some more backdoors and improve our actual hand strength to 2 pairs. And then we hit the wheel on the river, not the nuts, but we should certainly be making a value bet. A value bet 1/3 pot, he calls. Again, don't think I played that hand particularly well. We had a nice outcome, but I think I could have definitely played it better. I'm aware that I'm making tons of mistakes, by the way, but that's how you learn. You know, you make mistakes and then you try and learn from them. If you make mistakes and continue to repeat them over and over because you're not trying to improve and you just think, this is how I want to play and that's that, then it's not good. But if you make mistakes and then try and learn from them, then, you know, we can learn to embrace mistakes. Hang on, pause here a minute. We had the perfect rundown again here, and I elected not to 3-bet. I think that's probably fine from the big blind. I think in position I'd like to 3-bet here. Out of position, I think it's fine to go either way. Again, we could just 3-bet and not care too much if we get 4-bet, just call and get it in on good flops. But I think we could, I think calling's probably okay too. Here we've not got a whole lot of thing going on. We've got a pair and like the rappy type thing again, but some of our outs are dirty because the present are 2 diamonds, so I think you just check here, call small bets, fold to large bets, I think. And I think I'm just fine once it checks through a few times, just giving up. People pot controlling an ace quite a lot. I think for my next session I'm just going to go back to playing 2 tables, and I'm actually going to force myself to play significantly looser because I think I'll learn quicker doing that. If I just accept that I'm going to be playing looser, I'm going to have like less range advantage pre-flop, but hopefully learn quicker because I'll have more interesting spots to think about and like train my thought processes. Yeah, I think that's going to be a better idea than doing what I have been doing, which is just like playing 2-3 tables and nut peddling. I'm not going to learn quickly enough doing that. I need to just accept that for the next few weeks, maybe longer, it's just going to be a work in progress. Not expect to make too much money, not need to, because like I say, I'm playing recreationally and not relying on winnings at the poker table to supplement my income at all at the moment, so I can afford to not earn whilst I'm trying to learn a new game. So I think that's going to be my strategy going forwards. Looks like we're just going to lead out with 2 pair here, which I think we limped pre-ISO, then called in multiple spots, leading out with top 2. and some straight draws. Probably seems okay, I guess. And we take it down. Yeah, I think we could consider opening this hand. Here we've not flopped very well with the 2 kings. Yep, I definitely need to be getting involved more with these maniacs, don't I? And just like trusting fair enough, get involved with them. I know hand record is going to run close together. I know it's going to increase my short-term variance, but it's going to improve my skills quickly. And yeah, they're out there playing lots and lots of bad hands very badly. So even though my short-term variance will probably increase significantly, I'm guessing that it's going to be very good for me long term to do that. I mean, short term, who knows, my short term variance might be huge. I might win every pot, or win more pots than our fair share. But I think, yeah, I'm sitting on the sidelines just dipping my toe in. And I don't think that's the way to learn games. I think you just got to get in there, get your hands dirty, take your licks when they come. And, yeah, don't be too much of a fucking virgin about it, basically. I mean, it's a high variance game. Looks like I've been playing a strategy that's trying to like dodge variance a little bit. And when I was coaching No Limit Hold'em players, I used to tell them that by dodging variance, you're actually cutting your win rate because you're missing out on some good spots. Technically, the higher your variance, the higher your win rate. Oh, that's a phrase I heard years ago. I can't be asked to explain it now. But I think basically by taking like what you think are lower variance lines, you're obviously you're frequently like taking lower EV lines, and we don't want to be doing that. You want to be taking the line that gives us the best EV and ignoring the short-term variance, I think. Well, not I think, I know. If you're taking lines that aren't as high EV as other lines to try and reduce your variance, then you are just sacrificing your win rate. It's as simple as that. You are hurting your win rate. If you're not taking the highest EV option or not trying to take the highest EV option every time it's presented to you, you are absolutely cutting your own win rate. That is a mathematical fact. We have the nuts here on table 1. Now we don't have the nuts anymore, but we will anyway. We probably should have isolated the Jack Queen King here against this 71 VPIP dude. I'm learning a lot from watching this about my own game. Learning an awful lot. It's a good exercise for me to do this. Right, I remember this pot. This is going to be the last hand of the video because we're almost finished anyway. But this was like a very interesting, develops into a good interesting spot on the turn. Obviously I just overlimped pre-flop with a pretty marginal hand, 7-5, 10 Jack-Jack. And we have flopped an open-ender to the nuts at both ends. We call a bet here. And we turn the nuts, but we don't have the redraw. And this is the guy who was like staking me. We talked about this hand afterwards, and I think the turn's like a really, really interesting spot. Obviously we have the nuts here now. And this dude leads for half pot. And when I saw the half pot bet, I was not sure what to make of it really. obviously because we've got 2 jacks, we blocked 10 jack really, really hard. So I think he could. My thinking here was he could have some sets. He could have the same hand, of course, but I think he probably bets bigger with it, given he got multi-reaction on the flop. So I think a lot of the time here he has maybe some sets, maybe some draws sometimes. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not sure. I don't think I like his sizing here very much. I think he should just be checking a lot. If he has sets, I think he should be checking with pretty much all of his sets. If he has like the nut flush draw and some other stuff going on, I think maybe just bet bigger. But then when he gets raised, then I don't know. From his point of view, I can't remember what it was he had. I think he actually had the nut flush draw here and maybe a set. He could have had something as strong as like a set of kings in a nut flush draw. I can't remember. But from our point of view, I think we just need to raise here and try and get it in. We'll have a look at his hand at the end and see what's going on from his point of view. So he like double delayed and then called, and then like pretty terrible river for us. I mean, we don't get any more money from him if he does have a set, and if he's got a flush, then we're beat all of a sudden. And he made the tiniest of tiny bets here. I'm getting like 1,000,000 to 1, but I just had no. I mean, we could already be beat for the side pot by the guy who's all in. He might have a flush, so it's not even like we're getting direct odds to like catch his bluff for $10 because we might beat him and then still lose the side pot to the other guy. I was very unhappy with the situation, but I just don't think this sizing is ever, like worse than my hand. It makes no sense to try and do this with with anything worse than a flush. So I was deeply unhappy with the situation, but I just folded, and our opponent he'd flopped 2 pairs and he'd added the nut flush draw on the turn. So I think from his perspective, when he bets half pot on the turn, I don't know if I like his line. I think I'd probably prefer a check call, or if he's feeling really fruity, like a check raise all in when he's got like how many ever outs the nuts, 9 flush outs and another 4, and not maybe up to 14 outs. So would I like a check raise, because he could put me in jail with a check raise there. If he did with my exact hand, I bet that turn he check raises me all in, then I'm looking at possibly chopping at best and being free rolled at the same time. So if he check raised all in on the turn, even though I had the nuts, it would have put me in an absolutely disgusting position, because I would have no problem putting him on the nuts with a redraw, and that would just be in an absolutely disgusting spot. So he could like check raise all in there with his 2 pairs and his nut flush draw, and ever get someone to fold a straight, which I think's reasonable. I think it's reasonable to bet fold the straight here on this turn, like as deep as we were. Then I think like check raise is really, really sexy from his point of view, and I think I prefer checking overall with his hand, with a view to either check calling or check raising, depending on what happens after he checks. He's going to get a lot of good information. If he checks, I bet, and then the other guy goes all in, then he's going to know that at least 1 10 jacks out there. He's going to get pretty good odds on his call to just try and improve and make the nuts. So I think from his point of view, and he might be a way better PLO 5 player than me, and his line might be completely fine, but I think if I was in his shoes, I would have preferred checking with a view to never folding, either calling or raising. I think that would be really, really sexy. As it happens, it worked out well for him anyway. He won the pot. We lost the pot, and hopefully we learned a lot. I've certainly learned a lot from watching this review, and it's not anything I think you guys are going to learn from very much. I think you're going to learn that these games are really good. You're going to learn that Pot Limit Omaha with 5 cards is a lot of fun, but I'm not the guy for the go-to strategy on this game right now, because I'm still very much figuring it out myself. I'd say I'm like a 2 or 3 out of 10 Pot Limit Omaha player, 5 cards. I'm lucky enough to be engaged with players that are 1 and 0 out of 10 or 2 out of 10. So I still think when I play these games, I'm one of the better players in them. But at the minute, I'm so weak at the game that any edge I do have is still pretty damn thin. even against the really bad players, because I'm just not very good yet. But I intend to try and get very good. And given that I'm not relying on poker for my income stream right now, I can afford to put more time into it than I have in the past. In the past, when I've tried to attack Pot Limit Omaha, I've been trying to do it at a time when I'm kind of relying on the income from No Limit Hold'em. So it's every time I started playing, I was like, fuck me, I can't be doing this. I've just spent a week losing or a week breaking even when I could have expected to win a couple of £100 playing No Limit. And it was quick and easy for me to scuttle back to No Limit. I haven't got that excuse, reason, whatever you want to call it now, because it doesn't matter if I don't win at poker. It matters if I lose, but it doesn't matter if I don't win. So I think now is as good a time as any for me to try and get into this game and make Pot Limit Omaha my new go-to game. It's at the moment it's my go-to game because I'm enjoying it and it's good fun. I want it to be my go-to game because I enjoy it, it's good fun, and because I expect to make profit in it long term too. So that's the goal. We're going to be continuing Pot Limit Omaha videos on the channel, and I know that'll piss some of you guys off, and I know I'm going to get less views, but it's my channel charting what I'm doing in poker. So there's no point in making No Limit Hold'em videos for people who want to see No Limit Hold'em videos, very much, because the channel is much more of a spam/vlog type thing. So the spam doesn't matter whether it's No Limit or Pot Limit, but the vlog type thing does matter. It's integral to me to be showing the games that I'm currently trying to play, whether that's No Limit, whether that's Pot Limit Omaha, whatever that is. It's important that to me that the channel shows what I've been up to. So yeah, I know I'm going to get less views. I know the channel's going to suffer for it, but it is what it is. I've made the decision and I'll be sticking with it for now. If you see me going back to No Limit, if you ever see a No Limit Hold'em video in the next few weeks, you'll know it's because the Pot Limit Omaha's gone fucking tits up. And if you see me at a No Limit Hold'em table, you know it's because Pot Limit Omaha's gone tits up again. But hopefully you won't see me at a No Limit Hold'em table for a while, and hopefully we'll keep these Pot Limit Omaha videos coming, whether you guys like it or not. Okay, so I think that's it all done. Interesting hand and a bit of a ramble. Take care, everybody. Stay safe. Do still stay indoors. Doesn't matter what your fucking government says to you right now. They're only interested in getting the economy started again. They don't really give that much of a fuck about your health. So you do what's right for you. If you need to go back to work, please, please, please stay safe. Stay well. Don't let your bosses push you around. If you go back to work because they say, right, we're going to do X, Y, and Z, and then when you get there, they're doing A, B, and C. Don't fucking do it. Tell them to fuck right off. Join a union. Get your union rep involved if you think you're being asked to do things that are unsafe. And yeah, fuck them all. So take care, everybody. Much love from me. Stay safe, and bye-bye for now.